along the road. And they encroach on the 33-foot county right away. What is being done to eliminate that and make them adhere to the 33-foot mark? Since this could be a safety situation if someone veer off the road or whatever. And they also are they're digging down in there too, so.
Is this in an area different than I'm describing?
It's a peace talk across the lake, so he's really not the guy for that question.
Yeah,
It's
I'm only
only-
involved
it's
in the
only-
dam.
Well, the dam is the road, right?
Yeah. The dam includes the road, correct? So I'm a little lost on the issue, because I didn't go on the
So
survey.
this is only trees, but they're putting fence posts down, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's actually on,
So this
County
dam
property.
right here, he's talking the bolts are over.
Oh, on the opposite side.
Opposite
Yeah.
side.
Wait, hold on, crossing what boats over there?
Across the street, John's talking. The,
I'm sorry, John, I just don't understand what you,
on the south side.
south side of what highway?
Jake, good.
Alright, if you say that, so the same side as Double D's, the restaurant,
The opposite side.
Lakeside.
alright? And which boats now, you're saying
Not
that
the
the
boats,
boats
it's
themselves?
The county has 33-foot
Yeah, that's.
on each side, that's what we're talking about.
Well, we have 33 feet from the
Center,
center line.
the center line.
I don't think we quite make it to the boat docks.
No, but people have put fence posts up, they've done all sorts of things to
There's a
encroach
running-
on that.
That are running perpendicular
Yeah.
to the road.
Yeah, and it encroaches on the county, the county property there.
And they're defining some of that fence line with brush.
Brush, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about too. But they also dug holes, for fence posts and stuff like that. And so there's a double violation, you might say. There's the vegetation plus the physical equipment, physical fences, structures, everything else that's on there, that's on county property. That was my question.
That is correct, all of that technically is a violation. I'll let DNR press any accoutrement issues. I'm more concerned with the trees because they will grow far deeper than a fence post. They will find their way to different angles than just straight down. So at this point, in this juncture, I'm not so concerned about the fence. I'm concerned about the vegetation that's growing around the fences. And I think that's what we need to maintain, at least as a good faith first step effort, not only towards, our mutual agreement, but DNR is coming around and looking at this as well. If they want to press the issue on the fence, then we can talk about it later.
Are you saying then that the fences at this point are not concerned or will
No, like I said,
separate the issue?
like I said in my opening statement, I'm concerned with small trees becoming big trees.
Right.
So,
Roots. Now, the fence is more of a safety issue or just encroachment issue. Do you have any idea what the cost would be?
if we do the work, nothing we do, we just do the labor for removal.
Well, I think more importantly, what we've got to discuss is the timing of how we do it and what we do with the dam owners. I don't think we wanna come in there and just issue an edict and tell them that the county's gonna come in and tear all this stuff out. I think we have to talk about what's good public relations, and what our timing should be.
And that's why I said I'm in no hurry.
how wide do you wanna go from like east to west?
I want pretty much all the vegetation on the, lake side of the road. What's on the opposite side of the dam, I'm not so concerned with. I think DNR is, especially some of the larger trees. But I'm not so concerned on that side of the lake. But all that small vegetation is defining those fence lines, those property lines, that can be a long-term concern.
Okay, so you said you're not real concerned about fence posts. And you said the county has 33 feet from the center of the road. Where is the center of the road? Is it where the road is?
Where
or
you'd
where
imagine the
it's
center of the
supposed
road
to be?
is, where it's lined, so.
I mean, is the road in the right place?
Yeah,
That's
so,
what I mean.
so you get into a lot of gray areas when you start saying, is this the survey point of the road? But if that road has existed more than 10 years, wherever the center of that road is the center of the road, because if after 10 years, it makes it irrelevant what the
Okay.
previous surveys were.
Alright, thank you. The other one is, so how do you remove the vegetation? What's your process of removing?
Well, that I'd probably bring in an expert to kind of come and take a look at it. Do we want to kill them and then chop them off at the root, or do we want to dig them up? I can't really say that. I think some of the smallest stuff, yeah, we can just remove out. If it's more than an inch or two in diameter, which some of it is, having walked it, then we probably want to bring in somebody and say, hey, what's the strategy you want to do this? Again, another reason why I'm in no hurry. I just want to kind of see what an agreement will be of, come back later, we'll discuss it more, or, yeah, we'll let you take care of it, but wait for our signal with the PR issues that you're talking about, public relations and getting the word out, and then we'll do that. And then I also want to kind of know, well, what's the right time of year to do this? Is it going to be in the spring, or is it going to be in the winter, like late fall, when vegetation is no longer kind of growing? So at a normal rate. That's the kind of details I don't have at this point, but I don't really wanna see kind of a way forward on an agreement.
I think some public information to the homeowners that are living below the level of the lake on the opposite side of the dam, and saying that the trees might be compromising the dam and could lead to, some type of catastrophic failure that would sweep them downstream. And they're not gonna pay for it.
That's a good,
I don't remember the guy's name, the homeowner's name, but when we, had the issue with rebuilding the dam and with the agreements and that, he helped. We talked to him first, and he helped with the other homeowners, cause he knows them.
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking, if we look back in the minutes, and if he's still living, in one of those homes, that we contact him, explain to him what's going on, and say, okay, how do you think we can, effectively talk to the homeowners or whatever?
oh, okay, yeah.
He was really good, I forget what his name is.
I
I
don't
know,
know.
it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
He's the fisherman that's
You
always
think-
reporting
Marshall.
about the fish.
Do you
Yeah.
Oh,
think?
yeah, Marshall Staff, right?
Yeah,
Staff.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even mind us taking on the contact, but I think it'd be probably better for you from coming from.
Well, we'll get drawn into it
Yeah.
regardless.
Absolutely.
Which is why I think
so-
it'd be better for you to start.
Richard, what would you like from us?
John, okay, that's fine, but other people want some comments, make some comments.
No, I didn't have one, I just.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, the only thing you asked about what the time is, winter would not be a good time, because that's when they're gonna have all their docks and lifts up on that, and it'd be in the way.
Yeah.
So, as far as them having their stuff out, probably the best part would be spring, after they put everything in.
Yeah, I
Good
didn't,
point.
didn't know you pulled stuff up there, and leave it on the dock.
That's what John said, some of these lifts are getting seriously close to the road, and he was worried about the safety of a car maybe veering off and hitting that equipment if you had some way that, we said you can't do that, is that why?
Technically,
we were
they
trying to
shouldn't
bring
be
up-
putting any
Yeah.
equipment in the county right away.
Yeah.
Well, you see now is that county right away?
If they're within 33 feet of center line, they're in the county right away.
And that's a county road, so.
Rick, can you take this back with you?
Yeah, but you can only protect people so much, I mean, unless you
Yeah.
guys don't like, you don't like.
Let
look
me
at
interject
it,
a thought here. I think probably one of the first things we should do, and we can't do this until, spring of '22, is to have an open meeting and invite all the landowners of that area and a meeting specifically for them. And I would think you would want to have the county, and I hesitate, and we can all talk about this and decide, but I hesitate to invite the DNR, but at the same token, it wouldn't hurt to have them here to do a formal presentation on what are the dangers to a dam. You know, they showed us, if I remember right, some film and some diagrams and some stuff. Did they not?
Yes, they did, you and I were at that meeting.
Okay, so I think it would be good so that they understand the importance. I think we have to sell the importance of protecting the dam. I think they know that, but we have to let them know what the dangers are. And I think when we do that, and then, I think Stan made a great point. We can't do it in the middle of winter. I think it would be an opportunity time to do it, but they're gonna have their stuff all over the place and not in the water. But also, then maybe the county should address the issue of these boat lifts and as they get closer to the town.
Maybe in the winter, we should actually see,
Somebody should take pictures now.
let's see where the 33 feet is.
No, it's way,
It is.
yeah. But, again, my question, Richard, was, what would you like from us? We're a pretty cooperative group, so we,
Well, I think the first thing that I would like to see, it would be kind of an agreement of, are you fine with us doing the work? Once you feel you've settled the coordination with the residents and any other education that's required, I'm more than willing to do the work, and rather than living up to this amended agreement that was done a few years back when they rebuilt the dam, which says, okay, you take 33 feet, we take the first 33 feet, and you take everything else. I'm going to say, well, let's take care of it, because this issue really divides both
sure,
areas.
sounds good.
Are you looking for something in writing or just
I'm
verbal?
taking a vote, and I'll come back in the spring and hear another meeting, is what I'm hearing. I don't even mind getting DNR present, if you want me to do that.
But I think we wanna prep them, so we're not trying to scare these people to death. We wanna get the cooperation.
Yeah, but, I think it's a two-edged sword with that one, but, so get them here or not, and then I'll come back in the spring, we talk a little more, and if that means we wanna come back to spring of the next year, because that's the agreed to window we should do it, I can go talk to some experts as to when that time frame should be, then I'll wait another year. Or,
I think it would be good to get some experts to tell us what time. It may be that they think you'd be better off doing it in the winter, I don't know, but we just have to give them enough work. We'll take your advice on that.
They use Roundup or 2,4-D, and then they do it in the summer, or spring. Which is pretty effective on something like that.
Whatever. I think, since you wanna know whether we're in agreement, anyone wanna comment on why we would possibly have any objection to the county doing it? I can't think of it.
It's not gonna cost us.
So given that we don't seem to have any objection, would someone make a motion to request that the county, that we would, should we say allow, or should we ask them to do it for us?
I don't think you need a motion, 'cause you're not taking any action, I think this is just kind of a consensus, what Mr.
Oh,
House.
do you want action, or do you want just our?
And then we
our-
reschedule another meeting, invite them back, invite the homeowners, and then you can take action at that second meeting.
that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Cause we don't know what we're agreeing to right now.
Yeah, there's no question, we're not gonna do that. Oh, no, let us get our 2 cents worth in there and figure out the portion.
Well, if I achieve nothing else tonight, it would be that I wanted this on y'all's radar, and, so as long as we're moving forward progress towards some resolution down the road, I'm good with that too.
Well, I think as part of that, I think we'll try to plan a spring special session, or whether we'll try to incorporate it in one of our meetings. But I think if we're gonna have the public here, we're gonna have to do hours that, they can easily accommodate, so we'll probably do it on a Friday or something.
Maybe have them back in March. Something like that.
Yeah,
I'll reach out to you in February then.
sure.
Well, and does any of our commissioners here, does anybody, know Marshall Stack? I know we know him from when he
I've dealt with
told
them
us
before,
before.
but,
So I think, we should keep,
Yeah.
him informed.
I can
And
give you
then
his name and number if you want it.
With, how the piers are announced, somebody here should take pictures so that we have that, okay, this is
You
what.
just gotta be a little careful here, cause the piers aren't on the agenda, so
Oh,
vegetation's on the agenda.
okay.
Okay, I have no problem.
Yeah.
I don't see any.
Thank you for.
What are you thinking that you want us to schedule? Did someone say, who said in March? You want the meeting in March, or you want?
I think Rick did, that's a good idea.
I think March would be a good month,
Yeah.
probably the first part of March, actually.
And then, I think doing that, and then we all go out there and take a look and see what it's like.
Agree?
Well, I can bring pictures too.
Yeah, I'll talk to you
Is
after.
March the public meeting, or is it
No.
just a
Special meeting.
re-invitation?
Well, it could be a member meeting.
Well, that's what I said, I think we have a choice, we could do it as part of our meeting, or we could do it as a special meeting for the landowners.
You got time to figure that out.
Alright, I'll call Marshall, back and talk to him about it. If he has any input into how we would talk. Okay?
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Rich, we appreciate that. Alrighty. By the way, Lisa, do you have one of these fact sheets that you passed out? He didn't have quite enough.
Yeah.
Anybody, I think everybody should get one. Who did not get one of these fact sheets? Stan, you got one?
No.
I need one for Stan.
Appreciate it, I'll reach out.
I think we need one for everybody. Rich?
She said she'll use Rick.
I can scan it and
Okay.
email it.
Well, yeah, just, why don't you do that?
Okay.
Make sure everybody has it. And you can be prepared to talk about it. Alright. Back to the agenda, reports of the chairman. Chairman would like to report that we did get a schedule of the briefing notices from our attorneys, Michael Bauer. And,
Mr. Ritter, if you just wanna wait, we could do a closed session item, to discuss that.
this is just public information also,
Sure.
not? Well, let's just say that while we can, yeah, I'll wait. Then the other thing is, we did get back the acknowledgement, of the addenda, of the acknowledgement and amended to the lease on double Ds, indicating we will accept their, we've changed the amount of money that they have to, the amount of insurance they have to carry for us as lost payees because we're the owners of the land. And, that's been, finally signed and notarized. I've got to notarize it now, and I'll confer with our attorney the broker thing to make sure everything is complete. But it's a done deal now. And we got his, and that was the whole purpose of doing that. It was to get the, make sure that they understood there's no boat launching, they were limited piers and all the wherewithal that was in there, because quite frankly, when he took it over from the previous owner, I'm sure there was no saying, this is the rules you gotta live by type of thing. Not that we have to approve it, but we did get a little concerned when we started doing boat, lake parking. They're not launching boats, but they're letting people that want to get on the lake, or however they do, they can park there. All right, treasurer's report, Rich, Chris.
Thank you, Dave. I sent out some reports to everybody this afternoon, just go over there briefly, there's not much new information since our last meeting. Our income is per our forecast, our administrative expenses are running about 20% of our base budget, really, and that's due because of our communication, efforts we've been putting forward, and also attorney bills. And the other one to discuss, or to mention, weed and water control, were 40% of our base budget, and that's because we haven't received the plant survey invoice yet, and that'll catch us up. Overall, we have 46,600 in our equipment fund, and our operating funds stand at 176,410.
Anybody have any questions? motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I move that we,
Stan,
accept
accept
it.
motion to accept it as delivered.
Second.
Second, John, thank you. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Flag plant harvesting, Commissioner Oliver.
all right, they will be, taking things up, the buoys are gonna be removed on Friday. The equipment is, part of it's out already, but they will be taking the rest of it out by the end of September also. And so they'll be shutting down any harvesting, procedure at that particular point. I've received several calls from Lake and Pond, who is rewriting our, program. And they will have that finished by the end of the year, which then we can submit to the DNR and, try to get a new 5-year permit for harvesting. And that'll be taking place probably as early as, 2022. But at this point, that's where we stand.
Questions? Comments? Hearing none, okay. Thank you, Stanley. Walter County, Rick, do you have anything?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Greg, town of East Troy?
Just a few things that, fall under, possible public information that we should get out. And one has to do with, the town police report. They've, had some incidents at the, launch attendant booth, lake residents issuing profanity towards the attendants to a point that both have resigned. And it revolves around lake residents not believing they need to pay the launch fees at the launch. And they get irate when they find out that that's a requirement. So maybe we should,
Are they due?
I'm not sure.
They could.
They could be.
Could be. There's been a fair amount of sales on the lake, so.
No, the other, public information that we might, discuss, and I know the police have, department has issued on Facebook several posts about boating safety. But there have been, incidents on the lake of, primarily wakeboard boats and, their large wakes on the lake operating too close to shore, too close to other boats and, too close to buoys. And it might be a possible, source of the disturbance of the lake bed. You know, I've seen, personally, I've seen wake boats operating in 10-foot deep water, leaving a trail of mud behind the boat, when they're, in operation with a total ballast load on the boats. And I think maybe we might have to, do another public information campaign just to keep people notified.
Okay.
Somehow. I don't know whether,
Well, that's,
the,
that sounds like, under item, old business A, spring edition of the, or early spring, late winter edition of the LBMD brochure. Lisa, is that what we're gonna be discussing?
maybe we could add it to the door hanger that they pass out at the launch, or, I don't know
Who
whether-
prints those and
whether
who
the
has the
website.
stock of them? Who has the stock of those? Is that LBPIA?
I think that's.
They're
us,
Protection
is
Association.
We're working with them on that issue, and I think we can work together on it, come up with something anyway there.
Well, and I'm sorry, but isn't the town supposed to be the front runner on this issue when it, I mean, cause they operate the, you know, the booth, the launch, everything, and
Yeah.
with everything that happens on the
Police-
lake, so
police
should
can-
they be taking the lead on this?
The police could issue citations for disorderly conduct. That's what the verbal abuse of attendance falls into.
Yeah.
Well, but to answer your question, we obviously as the Lake Management District have, certainly we wanna cooperate with the town in
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
problem they have, and two, we have a certain amount of duty to see that the lake is protected, even these areas when they're outside of
Yeah.
our possible jurisdiction. So I think education is a great way to start, but you know what you're talking about here.
Oh,
You know what's gonna happen.
This is a very dicey issue, so.
That's an understatement, John. And,
Well, it happened once
we've got an agreement, with, the boat owners, and they put the buoys in, we put all those buoys in, to try to keep it from getting out of hand. If it is getting out of hand, we could certainly do I think an article would be good in our newsletter, and send it out. While I do want to cooperate in every way possible with LBPIA, I think if we join in everything and make joint statements, we lose the effect of having two voices. And two voices are more powerful than one voice. So I think we have to express our own concerns and do what we can to make inroads with the public, because it's gonna be an issue, it's gonna be a big issue,
I think
because
that
a number of those boats is just quadrupling by the day.
the last time the town tried to address the wakeboard boats operating in Mill Lake, that issue came up, and, I think part of the solution there was that they recommended they go to the center part of the lake.
That was
And
our
that-
solution, this
yeah,
funny
that-
area,
that
we
is-
proposed that.
Sort of getting closer and closer to not only other boats and buoys, but also the shoreline.
Yeah,
Sounds like an enforcement issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has worked actually, for Mill Lake, and I think it can work for the main lake if we can get the boaters out into the center of the lake. The attenuation is better on the waves, and it's much deeper, so they don't disturb the bottom. I've talked to, the town about this, I've talked to Attorney Mills. Mills is very reluctant to do anything, but I think if we make it an advisory, and that could go into our brochure, I think we're taking a step in the right direction. It's not gonna solve everything, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I think the boaters, the wakeboard boaters, are probably a reasonable group of people. If we explain to them and encourage them to stay in the middle of the lake, I think that'd be a step in the right direction.
other comments?
Well, and I see where I live, cause I'm on Wilmer's Point, and the boat, especially when they're heading to the launch to leave the lake, or if they're coming in from the launch, they don't obey the buoy rules. They're between my shoreline and the buoy, instead of being on the outer side.
Are they creating a wake?
Oh, yeah, and I'm talking about
That's their
not only
signature.
wakeboarders, but all boats, and so forth. And, I haven't seen it, cause you have to see it from the lake, but my next door neighbor, was telling me that just around the bend from us, and I don't know if you wanna call it like a little island that was there, and I mean, it was surrounded by, lake water, and it was pretty good. I mean, you could jump on it from your boat, if you wanted to, to sit there. It's gone. And they said it's because of the wave erosion from the wake water boat. So there are certain areas where it's really hurting more than other areas, so.
So a month ago, the chief had emailed you,
Say again.
the chief, about a month ago, emailed you and made you aware of the issue at the boat launch with the
Yes.
workers. And he asked LDPIA and the district to communicate the ordinances around launching your boat in the lake. It was 2 pages long, and I kind of squished it and highlighted, and it is on the website. So, we do have the formal language for the ordinances, and I don't know how you take this and make it readable and user friendly. I guess that's where I'm gonna need your help when we get, put it in the newsletter. There's a lot here. And the chief specifically listed, there's 5 of them that he, wanted me to highlight. 5 different ordinances in the big boat launch ordinance, so. We do have the language, we do have the chief's
Well,
support.
maybe that we'll just have to enlarge the newsletter. and-
Yeah, I mean, this is quick.
This is something that's important enough that we have to do a good enough job on. I can conceive of us, using an envelope instead of having
Okay.
just a flyer. And we may wanna stick some sort of, door hanger or what have you in there. I think it'd be good to work on that. Anything other comments that are pertinent to question? If not, let's move on. We'll have a chance to